I have been wanting to evaluate different brands of braided fishing line. I started by comparing two manufacturers. The first was Merst. The second was PowerPro. I looked at the breaking strength using a uni knot at both ends. While you do lose some strength at the knot, this is the conditions you will be using the line in the field. I also compared the diameter and the cost of these two lines. Here we have a ratchet system so we can slowly and consistently apply pressure to our line that's being tested. I've seen several ways to do this, some of which I had some problems with. One way that I thought was initially pretty smart that I ended up not liking was pouring water into a bucket that the line was tied to. Knowing how much the water weighs, then you could calculate where the line broke at what weight depending on the volume of the water. The problem with this is when you poured water into the bucket, depending on the height of the water that you were pouring it from or the amount of water that you were pouring, it may have more inertia, and so therefore you may get a spike in the amount of weight that is applied to the line. We've devised this so that we can have as much consistency and control over a test as possible. All right, so we've got our scale already hooked up to the line here. We've got a little pressure on it. It's 1.8 pounds. As you can see, we have a length of line going down to the end of the wall, 2 uni knots on either end. And then we have the scale to our ratchet system. 36. As you can see, it broke on the knot, which is almost always will happen unless you have a nick in your line. It broke right where this loop came back into the knot. All right, 35 pounds. Up. What was that? 35
was the last.
Couldn't quite see it. We'll look on the camera and see what it was. So we've tested the Merce product multiple times and found a consistent breaking point. I'll plot that out and show it to you on paper at the end of the video. This time we are now testing Power Pro. Again, 65 pounds with the uni knot at both ends. 43, 42. 42 pounds. All right, here at trial 2 of the Power Pro. 43, 45, 46. As you can see from these results, Power Pro did significantly better than Merce. Merce retained 56% of its rated strength, while Power Pro retained 70% of its rated strength when tested with a uni knot. It should be noted that when manufacturers rate their line, they do not use a knot. In these tests, the line always broke on the knot and no knots came undone. Regarding diameter, both companies state that their line at 65 pound strength have a diameter of 0.4 millimeters. When myself and several others looked at the two lines, we thought that the Power Pro was slightly smaller. Here is a magnified view of the two lines next to one another. The bottom line is Power Pro and the top line is Merce. As far as cost goes, 65 pound Merce purchased in a 500-yard roll costs about 2 cents per foot, while Power Pro costs 3 cents per foot. Given how much offshore fishing costs, this difference saved does not justify the loss of performance, in my opinion. Lastly, after we finished comparing the two manufacturers, we tested the modified uni knot with the 65 pound Power Pro and found a significant increase in this knot strength. The modified uni knot broke at an average of 55.5 pounds, retaining 85% of its rated strength when a modified uni knot was used. Based on this, I plan on using a modified uni knot from now on, and will make a separate video showing you how one additional step can improve your line performance.